everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sarah Roberts. I use any pronouns. I will be playing Lucy, our changeling Magus, who is currently playing Kyra. Hot mess.
Hi, I'm Jen. I go by she, her. I'll be playing Anthony Silverhorn, the Cavern Elf Inventor, and his buddy Soon and Julian. They all go by he, him.
Hello, everybody. I'm RJ. Today I'm playing Titus Valentine, and we are both he, hims. He's a human ranger. I'm a menace, and we're here to party.
My name is Robyn, and I should be playing Annelisse, the half-elven bard, and we both go by she, her.
That leaves me. Hi, everyone. My name's Satan Orla Vamp. I'll be your GM for the day. I go by she, they, or any pronoun, and I'll be playing a variety of characters that go by many, many pronouns because I am the world today. But with that, let's do a little bit of a recap of what has happened. This has been a while since we've been here. So hi, everyone. Welcome back. So last we left off, Titus had a tense yet heartfelt reunion with his wife, Marcella, as the two saw each other for the first time in 8 years. After that happened, Anthony planned a celebration in one of the inn's rooms to celebrate his and the team's achievements. Yet things got awkward as Titus brought in his estranged wife. As things settled and people were getting to know each other, the night was interrupted by a series of screams as black vipers infested the small rest stop. The party dove right in to help, and as the tide seemed to be turning in their favor, an otherworldly wail echoed from the forest. What is in store for our party? Let's find out. Things settle down where you are. You see the last of these swarm of vipers head away towards where you heard this wailing, which is in a very familiar direction to you all. People are starting to gather outside or through windows trying to see what happened. You see some of the townsfolk, the smith, Vistra, heading over to make sure that Rasha and her child are safe. What are you doing? What is the party doing?
Is everybody all right?
None too worse for wear. Owie, one. We should probably hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone hurt overly or?
Only a little bit hurt, not too bad. But
Barely
let's
touched.
keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Julian.
Anthony, what about you?
Oh, I'm fine. Julian took most of the hits. It'll be fine.
All right, then let's go.
How are we going into this?
Well, I assume that we're going into it ready for a fight.
He kind of pauses and turns towards Annelisse. You bargained with her, right?
Yes.
You think that this is the same thing that was underneath the cabin?
Well, if I was denied a bargain and thrown into a lake, I would get mad.
She wouldn't deny the bargain.
We kind of threw her into a lake.
Titus threw an item into a lake, not the person itself. I'm pretty sure the deities are more than just sharp objects that sit on altars.
You'd be surprised.
Do you think maybe that might have insulted her? Hey, here's my prize dagger. I think we have a lovely deal. And then I'm just like, oh, thanks. Chuck it away. That might maybe insult her, maybe enough for her to, I don't know, erupt and take out some kind of vengeance.
I don't know. How involved are the gods these days? You know more about it than we do. Well, then maybe it's something else.
I don't think it's a god as such, because we have not had any interaction with them for quite many years now. I think it's something else. Or maybe it is a god.
Sure, yeah. No interaction with the gods whatsoever.
Well, do we want to sit around and stand here talking about it all night, or do we want to go see if we can actually do anything? The snakes are getting away.
Yeah.
Feels like a rhetorical question.
He has this kind of complex look as he just kind of veers off and follows after the snakes, picking Julian up out of the air and just heading down the road towards wherever these snakes are going.
I swear that the man could ponder everything to death. Starts following after Anthony.
To our lovely GM, can I still see the snakes?
Yeah, you can see them slithering down the path into the woods.
I'm going to use one of my actions to trigger my hunt prey ability, which makes it easier for me to track them.
For sure, yeah, you can definitely do that. While you all are having this conversation, Marcella has kind of checked out of it and is just making sure that any people that were in the inn or Rasha or anybody else, they're safe. And see if anyone's hurt. She's helping out while you're all having this conversation. Are all of you going together?
Yes.
Okay. Are you taking lead, Titus, as you're tracking these snakes?
I'll pause it to the group. I could also run ahead and check out the situation beforehand.
If you think you can do it without being seen, go ahead.
I think I can do this.
Be safe.
You start running after these snakes. You can feel the mark that you hit on this prey slithering away from you as you are chasing after them. Make me a survival check.
That should be a 22.
You're not used to not being able to see in the darkness, but it is something you're slowly adjusting to. Yet your prey is marked and it's helping you guide you through these trees and branches. As you go in, are you stealthing or are you just running in?
I'm going to be as stealthy as possible. I do not know what's going on here.
Roll some stealth for me.
25. For a more narrative approach, Titus is jumping from like tree branch to tree branch.
You're using your quiet footing to jump from tree branch to tree branch, something that's very familiar to you. And you're looking down at the ground, and even though it's dark, you can make out shapes, multiple shapes slithering on the ground, rushing past you towards a now familiar path. As you arrive at what used to be a hideout for Xavier and his lackeys, you see instead black roiling earth in its place. Wooden ruins of the structure that once was strangely float amongst the ground as it bubbles unnaturally, a mixture of black dirt and serpentine figures slithering amongst the darkened ground. In the center, you see a glowing sphere half embedded into the earth as magic arches out of it, hitting the ground and creating large snakes to sprout out from it.
Well, that's not good. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Titus will kind of turn from his perch and head back the way he came to go report back to the others. Hey! So, it's a little borked up there?
What does that mean?
Titus swings down from the tree and lands with a grunt. So, there's a mass of snakes protecting a giant orb of mystical energy that is summoning more snakes into the world.
Okay.
That's not a little strange to you? That's a lot strange to me.
Look, we got propelled through time by a spider goddess. It's kind of a high bar at this point.
I almost took a pot shot at it, but thought against it.
Xavier said that he was guarding people from a bigger evil here. He never said what, though. He was banished too soon.
And as to the speed and frequency, constantly.
So we should, stop the big sphere thing, then? I know there's lots of other dangers and things, but that's probably the more imminent one. I don't know how to stop it. What do snakes not like?
Mint, actually, but that's neither here nor there.
As you're speaking, you hear another screeching wail coming from the direction that you just came from, Titus.
Oh,
do you trust me?
How far can I throw you these days?
What are you thinking, Anthony?
Explain and do not say trust me, please.
No, perhaps we can negotiate our way out of a fight. If not, of course, we can go into a fight. It's just plan A. Let me talk. And then we can stab a bunch of snakes.
All right. Good luck. Don't agree into anything that I wouldn't agree to.
Again.
If it works, it won't involve any of you, except for me.
That does involve us, you realized. What are you trying to get it to do?
Explain.
He kind of just holds his hands up.
Explain or I tie you to a tree and leave you here.
Oh, please don't do that.
I'll put an apple on your head and shoot at it and purposefully miss.
Please don't do that.
That is so dark. That's your friend.
Yes, he also
You
has
haven't traveled with him very long.
I'm going to take their side because there's more of them than you.
I have 3 with me, points to Soon and Julian.
Anthony.
Thank you.
Please, for our sanities, explain your plan.
It's a very long-term plan, and
Are you going to make a deal?
Yes.
No.
Not your call on this one.
Yes, it is, because I always have to deal with your deals after you deal with them.
It won't involve you. This is not... This... Can
we just go in and smash the damn thing like we normally do?
No. I have an entire country to worry about, and this is going to factor into it.
You have an entire country that doesn't give a shit about you.
I know, and it sucks.
You are not responsible for an entire country. You are not responsible for anyone but yourself, Anthony, but you keep making everyone's problem your problem with your stupid deals that you keep taking. You can't keep trying to fix everything on your own. If we're not in on it together, then it's a no.
Bloomberry is my home.
I understand, but continuing to part out yourself is not going to help it. It could potentially hurt it.
I'm okay with that.
Anthony, you might think that this might not be a problem for us, but who knows what these new deities have in store in terms of deals and contracts and stipulations and clauses.
At least let us find some literature on them before you start dealing with them.
There is no literature.
How do you know? We haven't even looked for it. Have you been in the bookshop yet?
No.
Then how do you know there's no literature? Have you been to a library yet?
No.
Have we walked into a temple and said, hey, can you educate us yet?
No.
Will you please? Please. I am begging you, Anthony Silverhorn. And Lucy has both of his cheeks in her hands and is smushing his face together to make that little like fish face. Will you please wait before you start making deals with things? I will do the research myself. I will sit in an office and I will study it if you want. I'll become a cleric. Don't give me that look. I can do it.
You owe me this opportunity. Not this one, but another one.
Just make an informed decision. We all owe each other that.
We still have a lot of things to talk about, but I agree.
Thank you.
But I do not want to fight something we are unprepared to fight.
I don't either. Annelisse made a deal with it already. Let her do it.
If I don't get to make a deal, Annelisse doesn't get to make a deal.
I'm not saying Annelisse needs to make a deal. I'm saying that she probably can talk to it.
Also, this conversation's happening after the fact Annelisse has made a deal. So, Annelisse, no more deals. Got it? Good girl.
I mean, like, I do slightly agree with Anthony on a few of these things because this is not the same world you left. I know I keep saying this, but it's not the same world. We don't know as much anymore about gods and deities and everything else, and there's a lot of things that we're not really allowed to know about as well. If this is something new, if this is a new thing out here, we don't have like any way of researching it or knowing what it is. I'm not saying now is a good time. Okay. I now bad time to go chasing strange deity. But
if there's one thing I've learned throughout all my years, it's that it's the same crap, different latrine.
That's graphic. Could I have a different metaphor from now on? That's graphic.
How much things change, things will stay the same.
That's better. It's just... there is a lot more fear around magic and around different gods, and I know what I did was wrong. To be completely honest, I wasn't thinking of any of you when I went and made a deal. Why would I? Only met you a couple weeks ago. Why would I think about any of you when I made a deal to do something that I've been trying to do for the past 2 years? But I do agree maybe us sticking together and trying to get through this mess might be a good idea.
So is someone talking to it, or are we going in swinging? I think we should try and talk to it first without making a deal. Just see what it wants.
Column A, column B if things go south. So, good luck, though. I didn't really see any figure that you could talk to. Can you speak snake? How good are you at...
Okay, then we just have things to fight, then?
More or less, yes.
Okay. Going and swinging it is, then.
Titus is just pulling out his bow. So I'll concentrate fire on the orb.
What if you hit the orb and it explodes and then it's billions of snakes everywhere? Is there a way that we can
get Anthony close enough to the orb safely to figure out what it is? Between you and I, we should be able to figure out what it is.
Right. Do not load your weapons. Do not throw your daggers. Anything going astray is not needed here.
If anything, we can always get some snake-eating gorillas from the coast, and by the time winter rolls around, they freeze over.
You all know the general way. If you are walking in stealthily, go ahead and roll stealth, everyone.
It's a 17 for Titus.
14 for Lucy.
I'm sorry, 14 for Annelisse.
19 for Anthony.
Annelisse and Lucy over Kyra. Are you trained or untrained in stealth?
Expert.
Trained.
Okay. As you get closer to this area, the darkened ground is spreading. You see a lot of slithering snake bodies just through the ground, not paying attention to you in the moment. These smaller reptiles making their way, dashing towards this call as you hear wailing again. Black roiling earth that bubbles like magma. Wooden ruins that seem to float amongst these black dirt made out of ash and serpentine figures. And in the center, you see this glowing sphere half embedded into the earth as magic arches out of it. And as it does hit the ground, every so often, another snake appears. I would say, Annelisse, you do notice that towards the back, you see tips of stone fingers buried in this earth from the structure that you saw before when you were in the basement of the hideout. So you can start rolling initiatives.
Initiative is a 15 for Annelisse.
Lucy rolled an 18.
11 for Titus.
7 for Anthony.
Okay, so up first, as one of these creatures is brought into existence by this magic arc of lightning, you see this giant onyx black serpentine figure uncoil from the earth and stand up high. It's about 6-7 feet tall. Does that hiss with its mouth open, and it will move.
How sure are we about this whole not fighting thing?
You see as it moves towards you, slithering fast. Annelisse, does a 25 hit you?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, it does. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're fine. What's your AC?
20.
Okay. So it is 5 above your AC. I believe that is a critical.
Oh, no.
So you take a total of 8 piercing damage from this snake as it coils and strikes at you. Its fangs digging into your flesh and tearing at it. Lucy, it is now your turn.
Lucy is going to phase bolt it. That is not going to hit.
What did you roll?
1. That will be it. I think Annelisse probably bumps into her as this thing jumps out at her and her bolt goes wide.
Yes, it is a plus 10 for critical, so instead of 8 piercing, you take 4. Sorry about that.
And me?
Yes,
Yeah.
you.
Oh. Heal yourself up 4 points.
And it is another snake's turn. It's just going to take its movement action and move closer to you guys. Annelisse, it is your turn.
At least she's gonna look down the snake and just be like, she'll look over towards Lucy. Like, sorry about that. Okay. I'm not actually too keen on the snakes. Maybe you could just like go away now. And she goes down to touch the snake and cast Chill Touch.
Okay, so I rolled a 17, so it fails.
But that's 7 points of damage to the little snakey. And I think that is going to then be the end of her turn. She's quite happy with that.
Titus, it is your turn.
The one that Annelisse is on, pulling out bow, arrow. I'm going to mark it as my prey, and then I'm going to use my hunted shot ability, which lets me fire off 2 arrows, but it counts as 1 attack for damage reduction purposes. First, 16 to hit.
16 does not hit.
Okay. Second shot. A 13 probably won't hit either.
It will not hit.
That's all 3 of my actions. I'm actually going to... Well, no, I can't move. Yeah, I'm going to plant my pretty tuckus here.
Serpent's turn. It starts moving, slithering your way. I'm going to need Titus to make a reflex save.
15.
As you see another one of these giant snakes appear and start slithering your way, it stops a good 30 to 40 feet away from you, and you see it get up to its full 6 feet and reach back as it mouths open. You see this crackling of energy in its mouth, and you see a line of electricity just come from it and hit you square in the chest. But you take 6 points of damage as it hits you square in the chest. You feel this crackling energy just seize your body for a moment. Next, Anthony, it is your turn.
The goal is still to get to the orb, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lucy's going to follow you in.
All right. Then he's going to use two of his movements, or 2 of his moves, to get up to that orb.
Okay. As you pass by the snake, you get an opportunity attack. There's a 23 hit.
23, if I shield...
25, sorry.
20, oh, that makes a difference. Yes, that hits.
So you are going to take 7 piercing damage from this snake.
I'm going to use shield block to absorb all 7 of that.
Okay.
And then for my last bit, I'm going to investigate this orb.
Okay. Roll investigation.
Could I use assured identification on top of this, but then Arcana kind of tab into it?
This isn't really an item.
Okay. For investigation...
You would have to roll occult.
Occult, thank you.
Yes.
15, untrained.
You're not sure exactly what this is, but you know it gives off the same energy as the same piece of dirt that you had slightly studied or asked your god for something. It is a heavy demonic presence.
He'll kind of tilt his head up and kind of call back, fiendish. That will be his turn.
You see the ground underneath you start roiling as these prismatic light kind of glows from within. Bubbling earth almost take figure into this mass with this prismatic light coming from it. Roils up from the ground. It's going to attack you. Does a 27 hit?
Yes.
And what is your AC?
18.
Okay, that's just 1 off of a critical. So it is going to hit you with 8 bludgeoning, and as it wraps its this like slimy pseudopod against you, you also take 4 mental damage. What is your fortitude DC?
It is, one moment. It just has a +8 to it.
That would just be 10 plus modifier, right?
So yeah, okay, so 10 plus 8. So okay, with the 13, it does not grab you. Thank you for that clarification. So you see, as the pseudopod does strike you to grab you, almost to like whip you away from where you are right now, but it fails. And that is its turn. And after that, this other snaky is gonna come out, and it's gonna move, coil, and it's going to try and strike at you, Titus. It's a 21 hit.
Just barely.
So it's gonna hit you for 9 piercing
Owie.
as it coils and strikes back at you. Now we are at the top of the round again, and you see the earth moving and lightning starts striking out. I'm gonna need you to make me a dex save, Anthony, as it strikes out from this orb that you're right next to.
23.
Does save, so you take half damage. So you're going to take 3 lightning damage as you get hit by like the little straggly lightning bolts from the main one. Annelisse, does a 28 hit?
Yes. A 28 hits, but no, it is not 10 over.
No, it is only 8 over.
Only 8 over. Barely a scratch.
So you take 6 piercing damage.
Great.
It is going to try and attack you again.
Great, bring it on.
It has a -5.
Okay.
A 10 is a critical miss.
Okay.
It's a critical miss. So it strikes you once and tries to strike at you again, and it misses. Kyra, it is your turn.
Okay, and Anthony said that it was fiendish
Yes,
or demonic.
fiendish.
Fiendish.
Okay. Lucy's going to draw her weapon and then use double movement to get up to Anthony.
You will
That'll
take
be her
an
turn.
opportunity attack from 2 snakies. Does a 25 hit you?
It does.
Okay. You're going to take 8 piercing from 1. Does a 14 hit you?
No.
And that is your entire turn?
It is. As she runs up, she'll shout out to Anthony. Any idea how to stop it?
He'll turn his head. No?
Then we get another attack from another snake. We love snakes. And it's going to line up with his buddies and it's going to try and strike at Titus. Electricity just loves you. Make me a basic reflex save.
It's a 26 this time.
Okay, that does save. So it is not critical, so you only take half. So you take 5 points of lightning damage as another bout of lightning just shoots out and hits you. And that is its turn. Annelisse, it is your turn.
Okay. This weird light orby thing that's in front of Anthony, would you class this as a magical light source?
It's not a light source, it just kind of has light within it.
Like if I were to, for example, cast Swallow Light, is this something that could work here?
I will say that with that one, yeah, you think it might work.
I'm going to attempt to escape this snake so that I can then move 10 feet closer so that I'm within the 30-foot range of this weird magical light thing. I'm actually going to move 20 feet. It's the little snake right in front of me is the only one I think is going to get near me.
This is 27 hit you?
Mm-hmm.
6 points of piercing damage.
Okay, so Annelisse is like, oh, I know what to do with this thing. And she goes running up towards this weird light source. And as the snake gets there, she just goes, huh! And she drops to the ground.
Cool. So as you fall to 0 HP, you gain the dying 1 condition. Titus, it is your turn.
Oh, buckets. Titus is going to boot scoot boogie up to Annelisse. Titus is going to pull a health potion from his back pocket, pop it open, kind of just pry Annelise's mouth open and just glug, 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 glug. Hey, listen, wake up. Slap, 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 slap. Wake up. We gotta take care of the little ones. It is 1d8, so would you like me to roll it or would you like to roll it?
You can roll it.
Yes.
Let us trust your rolls.
Hey,
Oh.
hey, Max.
Hey,
Nice.
back.
Titus, is that you?
For a moment, you're unconscious and are brought back with the taste of medicinal taste in your mouth. So while you're no longer dying 1, you are wounded 1.
I think I've got more health now than I had before I died. This is great.
Titus is just going to use his last action to pop a shot at one of the snakes. Which
Okay.
one looks damaged?
The one that was in front of Annelisse is the only one that's been damaged.
I will fire at that one.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
I'm gonna start rolling with physical dice.
I think that's the same thing you rolled last time, a 16 and a 13. And that is your turn.
Yep.
Okay. It is one of the snake's turn, and it's going to look at you and use an action to coil and another one to attack you without having to move. Does a 15 doesn't hit you? Does it hit you?
I have a 20 AC with no armor on, baby.
It's going to use another action to try and hit you with a -5 multiple attack penalty. A 9 does not hit you. Anthony, it is your turn, but before you go, I need you to roll me a will saving throw.
It is 11.
As you are looking at this thing, you feel this wave kind of wash over you. Your mind becomes muddled and hazy, and you have trouble remembering what it is that you intended to do, and you gain the slowed 2 condition.
I think he kind of just stares at it for a moment and looks, the befuddlement kind of fills his face as he kind of half turns towards Kyra, and there's just confusion on his face. I think he has enough wherewithal to make sure that Julian does act. And he'll just say, I don't recall what I'm doing. And he just kind of pulls his hands towards his chest, lost, as Julian moves in, and Julian will get the explosion command. So as Julian kind of floats in and kind of hums together, there's this kind of rattling sound. Both snakes will need to make a reflex save. And I think that's against my DC.
Pink one rolled 15 and the red one rolled 21.
So the 15 would fail, 21 doesn't critically succeed, but does succeed.
Okay.
So 10 electricity damage to the one that failed. Think it's a save or suck kind of situation for the explosion. Okay. As Julian kind of makes this outward explosion, electricity kind of sparks all over the ground towards these snakes. He falls apart and hits the ground. And then he kind of turns towards blob crystal thing. With a rapier, he'll strike it for one of his movements. 19.
That does hit.
So 5 points of damage towards this oozing crystal being.
You do damage it, and you see some more of this prismatic sparkling light appear from that wound, and then kind of like slowly get covered over by more ink from the ground. And as you do that, it is going to try and strike you again. It is now its turn. Assuming 13 does not hit.
Does not know.
Okay, and it's going to try that again. It does not want you there. Ooh, a 9 does not hit either. 3rd time's the charm? Probably not. Well, not with a -10. No. For the last turn of this round, it is the snake's turn. I need both Titus and Lucy to make me a reflex saving throw.
15.
23.
Titus, you're going to take half of 15 lightning damage. And Kyra, you're going to take the full 15. We're back out to the start of combat. First, our giant snaky friend is going to come out. It was playing with Annelisse earlier, and now it kind of wants to play with Titus. So it's going to make a coil and make a fang attack at you. And a 14 is not going to hit, I'm assuming.
No, it does not.
Okay, it is going to attack one more with its multiple attack penalty. And I'm going to assume a 12 does not hit.
It does not. I'm alive.
Keeps trying to strike at you, but it does not succeed. Lucy, can you make me a will saving throw?
20.
20 fails. You're slowed 1. And as you're looking around, your brain fogs up a bit. It becomes hazy, and you see fighting. You see this orb, but you're a bit groggy on what you were planning to do next.
Lucy's going to shake her head and shimmy around this prismatic blob and grab Anthony by the arm. We need to go.
Where are we going?
To get help?
We are the help.
We can't handle this.
Nope.
Uh,
He's just a very confused old man at the moment.
and is it okay for us to move together on my turn because she would be dragging him along?
Yeah, you can move half your speed.
Okay. And she's dragging Anthony along and just shouting over her shoulder. Titus and Annelisse, get out of there.
One of these snaky boys is going to attack. It's actually going to start moving this way. I believe it has 20 feet of movement. And it's going to move this way. It's going to use 2 movements. Annelisse, can you make me a will saving throw?
Why?
Don't worry about it.
17?
You are slowed 1 until the end of its next turn, and you have trouble remembering what it is that you intended to do.
That fits, actually, yeah. I thought, what was I going to do again? I was going to, swallow something.
Move it!
What? Move it? Oh, right, okay. We're running? Okay, we're running. I hate running. Okay. And she will, in that case, listening to Titus, will run off towards the woods. I don't want to outrun Titus and leave him there, so I'll run the 35 feet into the woods. And then I'll move another 20 feet into there as well.
Titus, it is your turn.
When I started retreating, oh Lord help me, he's going to use a movement to hitch over here real quick. How heavy is Julian?
Not very heavy. He's probably no more than a grapefruit.
It's Nicolas Cage in Wicker Man as he's on the motorcycle, scoops down, picks up the doll, and just keeps running. Stride again, 25 feet, pocketing Julian. Can I take a pot shot at this duder across from me?
Yeah.
30. Is that 10 over? Can I hit my critical button?
Yes. How do you want to do this?
It is a mad sprint into the forest. Titus is using his entire body to just keep moving, reaches up, grabs a tree branch, and swings forward. At the apex of the swing, he lets go, turns around, and fires a shot before spinning completely and then just hitting the ground running.
Fire this shot, and it's slithering fast, trying to get at you, and you hit it right in the head, and as the arrow pierces through the skin, it stops moving. So Anthony, it is your turn next. I need you to make me a will saving throw.
15.
That does not succeed. While the effect of slowed, that is now replaced by slowed 1 instead of slowed 2, and you don't know what's happening. You are still confused. You are still groggy. You're being dragged somewhere. People are disappearing. Your other friends are going that way. There's a lot of glowing lights. You're not sure what's happening.
Seeing as somebody's in front of him, he's still confused, remembering that it's Kyra/Lucy, and they're going in a direction he may not understand why, but putting a lot of faith in something he can't quite grapple with right now. He's still gonna move in that direction. He's gonna move 30 feet. That is him.
This little guy over here can't move, so it can't reach any of you. But what you do see, it's still attacking, and it grabs this snake and ingests it. One more snaky attack. It's going to take 2 actions and do its lightning rattle. Titus, do a reflex.
25, my love.
It does save 6 points of lightning damage as it strikes out at you with its lightning rattle. Again, back up to the top, this giant snake is going to, so it's just going to stay there. Lucy, it is your turn.
Lucy is going to continue running with Anthony, and let's see, that's 20 feet for me. So she'll just say, Head for the road. This way. And start leading him back towards the road. And then I run out of map.
Annelisse and Titus, are you also just using your actions to run away?
Yeah.
Okay. Annelisse, as you're running and you look back, you do see again where that half-buried hand statue is. You see partly under the dirt and the mounds of black earth, a slight movement of an eye looking towards you as you run away.
Sure, that's fine. That seems like a future problem.
That is the end of that encounter as you all start running away. Some of you are still a bit groggy, and while it does take you a bit, you're able to eventually meet back up on the road.
Owie.
Look, there they are. Look, they're just ahead of us, Titus.
Titus is like piggybacking Annelisse as he's
Keep
walking
going just that way. Like, do I actually need to pull your shoulders each time? I've been like steering you like horse. That's maybe not a good idea.
No, it's, a little direction is much needed in these trying times. You do what you need to do, honey.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Did you two garner anything in your little run up to the creature?
It's
Demonic.
fiendish.
Right. That one.
Yucky. Gross. The snakes can shoot lightning.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yes.
Did you also see the like hand coming out of the ground with the eyeball in it? Because that's what I saw.
Little preoccupied about watching the giant mass eat one of the snakes.
Oh, that did happen.
How's everyone doing?
Not great. And Lucy is pulling out that potion that Anthony made her and knocking it back.
Oh, that is good idea, actually. Cheers.
All right. So what do we do? Hit them from a distance or go back for reinforcements? Does your wife travel with an army?
She's got an honor guard from last I checked.
She asked us what we needed help with. Gestures back towards the woods.
Could someone take Annelisse? My chest is hurting.
I could walk.
You could walk this entire time?
Yes, I was trying to tell you that, but I mean, you helped me a lot. I can get down now. I'm going to get down.
Wow.
Where's Julian?
There is a grapefruit-sized metallic object that is just gently lobbed into your direction, like the easiest, catch opportunity.
Catches it, kind of turns the core over. You just see a wave of devastating disappointment in himself cross his face before he kind of tucks the core away.
Good. If everyone's all squared, let's get back to town.
Right. Double time?
Titus grits his teeth. Yeah, let's do it double time.
You'll get back to town as fast as you can. It'll take you a bit as you're kind of like walking, licking your wounds. You see that the streets are empty now. There is a worried Marcella walking around the entryway of the inn as she sees you all, and she rushes up on Titus. Are you all right? What happened?
Burns, but I'm used to that. Snakes, if you can believe it, that shoot lightning.
Oh.
The problem has not handled itself. In fact, it's handled itself very poorly.
It handled us very well.
All right. Here. Let's get you all in. Yes? And she'll kind of start taking you guys back into the inn. There's a table that already had some healing tools, and she starts with you, Titus. You see as she does work with these healing tools and is treating your wounds, cleaning them, there's a slight glow of magic from her hands. You regain 19 points.
When did you pick up that skill?
Healing is always useful. Does anybody else need help?
I'm a little bit hurt. Pretty hurt, actually. Like I kind of died for a minute and then came back kind of hurt.
All right. She sits down and she has taken off her gloves to work, and you see that one hand is very obviously burned, like old burn scars, while the other one is pristine. And you would see a slight glow of her hands. 10 points of healing you regain.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel much more myself now.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? I mean, you all look rough, but I'm not going to impose.
Lucy will accept healing and ask where the barkeeper is.
She is taking care of the other guest, making sure that everybody's all right, checking in on Rasha. I believe she's upstairs right now. You will gain 14 points of healing, Kyra, as she is helping you. While you're very still much wounded and sore, it is still a slight refresh.
Potions are 1d8, correct?
Yes.
Okay. He'll take a potion and then kind of hold his hand up and say, I wouldn't mind a little healing.
With her sitting up close, you'll notice the burn marks not only on her hand that's ungloved now, but on the side of her face as she's sitting close to you. Similar to Titus's wounds, except these extend much more further into the face.
While she's tending to Anthony, Lucy's going upstairs and searching for the barkeeper.
Yeah. You gain 7 healing. That's a low roll.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Kyra, as you leave your friends in the hands of Marcella, you make your way up, each step creaking on the old wooden staircase. And as you make your way into the main hallway, this is not a big inn, you hear a door closing as Darla steps out of one of the rooms.
How's everyone here?
Rattled mostly, but health-wise, all right.
Any of them able to fight?
Possibly.
Lucy will give the rundown of everything that they saw in the forest and what's happening nearby.
There's just a wide look of surprise on her face.
Xavier mentioned that he was keeping something else worse from attacking, or you all having to deal with it. I think this might have been the worst. Our bard found a altar of some sort beneath the cabin. We think that whatever this is, it's what he was keeping at bay. At least that's what I think. I won't speak for the others. But we aren't equipped to deal with it. Not the 4 of us on our own. We're going to need help.
Well, I don't think many of the people are fighters here, but you have my help. I should dust off my old axe, every now and again.
All right. If you have anything to help with lightning damage, you're going to want it. We're all downstairs. And she'll just kind of nod her head and turn around and head back down.
So she's going to go down with you and says, I know exactly what you need. And while you head back down to the others, is there anything happening, talking between everyone as Kyra leaves for a moment?
Titus is checking the stock of liqueur for anything that is above 90% proof.
Darla finds you in the behind the bar and just says, excuse me, or excuse you. Puts her hands over yours. What do you need?
Anything that's flammable.
Most things in here are flammable.
Good. We could use it.
What you could use is some help with electricity, I've been told.
Yes, that too. Honestly, I prefer fighting out of the way. And this kind of electricity appears to pierce, which is always fun.
Lucy just pops up, leans over the bar. Oh, are we starting a forest fire? That would be a fun way to deal with it.
It's
Maybe
on the table.
Not. But we could, it's been some times, but maybe a few Molotov cocktails.
Annelisse will just kind of like appear around here and just be like, I like Molotov cocktails. That sounds fun. But forest fire, maybe not so much. There's like cute little squirrels in there and stuff. Like, I don't want to hurt the squirrels.
Anthony has moved to a different table and has spread out bits and parts of metals and gears, and is just working away quietly. So bruised and bloody, but he seems to be ignoring the chatter around him.
I hope you don't mind eating snake for a while, because that's all there is over there. Snakes all the way down.
Well, I don't know if I want to eat snakes after this, but we'll do with what we can.
So are you going to be joining us out there?
Yes. I see that there's an opportunity for me to dust off my old battle axe.
You have an axe?
I do. I have multiple, actually.
I like axes. Axes are quite cool. They can, like, go both
Split
ways.
Things in half, yes. There are many things that go both ways in this tavern, right? So, electricity is what you need help with?
If we have any sort of... Man, what I wouldn't give for a sack of flour right now. If you mill flour fine enough, the friction of the air and the molecules moving together can cause a fire. Or an explosion. That's what happens in granaries most of the time. Grains moving too fast.
Yes, I mean, I have heard of that, but, Titus, are you okay with the prospect of, fire and explosions?
I have learned throughout the years that sometimes the things you hate are a necessity in the things you must do.
Fair enough.
I have qualms about fire, but I can make it work.
Wait, have you not been using fire magic around him?
You told me not to.
I didn't tell you that.
One of you did. I don't know who did.
I told you not to.
Oh, yes, Anthony told me not to. He was like, don't do fire magic. Around Titus does not like it. And I was like, oh, yes, because of the stories that I have been telling for years. Still a huge fan.
Why would you say that, Anthony? Titus himself lights a lot of things on fire.
I think Anthony kind of sits back, takes a deep breath. I was being considerate.
Thank you for that. But now's the time to take considerations and throw them out the window. We need our full arsenal.
Well, I do have fire magic, but I need to rest a bit before I can use it. So that's the only issue there.
How long do we think that we have that we can rest for?
We can make this place a safe house. And we need to get as many towels and cloths as we can, shove them under doors, board up windows, make sure the snakes can't get in.
You need something to perk you back up. Fashion will most likely have something like that. But and you see this time she's been kind of working with various different... She's making cocktails, but she's using bottles that she has locked. She has put under lock and key. And these bottles do not have labels on them. And she will put together one for each. And it is called a Fury Cocktail. The one she has made is made out of pomegranate juice and elemental reagents. So you gain a +2 item bonus to melee attacks roll, and then you also get the resistance 1. And I'm ignoring the drawback because it is a lesser and you only get a resistance 1 to each of those. And she will make them and hand each of you one, and she pockets one, and then offer one to Julie as she walks up. It's like, are you fighting with us? And Julie looks at the rest of you and nods. If help is needed, I will be there.
You have people with you.
I have one person with me.
Whom?
It's my my personal assistant. Though I think he's much better at staying here.
That is fair. I wonder if the boys would be up for a little bit of rabble.
I mean, you can. I'll pay them extra.
Hazard pay.
Hazard pay.
I'll go round them up then.
I suggest we all rest up a bit, though, as I can help with physical healing, yet magical. I cannot restore your magic.
As Titus is leaving, he'll just put a hand on Anthony's shoulder. It's not during combat that I'm worried about the fire, it's the quiet times.
Looks up from his repairs and nods a little. I get that.
It's just a squeeze before he leaves.
Where are you heading?
Wherever I would know the dwarves are staying.
Upstairs. You bang, and there's a slight opening. You see the head foreman come up and just say, "Hi."
You want to make some extra gold?
There's the squint of the eyes.
And also get into a bit of trouble?
Extra squint. What are you offering?
Well, the snakes that we encountered earlier have a home base, and we're hoping to kind of attack it and dismantle whatever the hell is going on there. And we need people.
Well, I could spare myself and maybe another, but I'm not putting the rest of my men through that. They're here to work construction, not risk their lives.
That's fair. The lady says that there'll be some extra pay in it.
Well, then I'll talk to her and see if it's worth the extra pay.
Thank you for considering at least. If you'll excuse me, I need to go lick my wounds a bit more. For the time being, Titus will retire to the room, kind of switching out like his burnt shirt from getting hit in the chest by lightning for like a cleaner one.
Yeah. Darla has already started to put like kitchen towels and extra linens like on the edges of windows and doors, as had been suggested. You all just let me know when you need to leave, and we'll head out.
Morning.
Morning. All right. I'll make a few other things that might help us then. I have time.
Well, in that case, I'm just going to like take a nap right here on this seat, and just wake me if anything comes. I could really do with some of my magic back.
Then why don't you head up to bed, Annelisse?
No. I have FOMO, so I don't want to miss out on anything. I'm just going to sleep here. It'll be fine.
Darla just takes one of the extra linens and just puts it on, like one of the blankets, puts it on her. It's not the first time someone sleeps at my bar.
I bet it's not.
There's just a chuckle and like a pat on the head. And as that's happening, Marcella's just going to quietly make her way out and up and search for Titus. And you'll eventually hear a knock on the door, Titus.
It's open. Titus is just pulling on a new shirt.
The door opens slightly, but Marcella's standing there, still outside of the door frame, as if waiting to be invited in.
You're not a vampire, are you? You have to tell me if you are. That's the rules.
I don't think that's the rule, but last time I checked, no.
You're not a knock, are you?
She's going to just step in.
Oh no, whatever will I do? You have beaten my threshold trap. Ah!
I see comedy still your form of defense.
Armor is my form of defense, and I wear my humor like it is plate. How's it looking down there?
As best as it can be.
I talked to your foreman. He can spare one other person.
All right. I'll speak with the smith. Maybe they can spare some armor and weapons.
What I wouldn't give for a longbow right now.
Have you spoken to the smith?
Honestly, ever since arriving in this time, I've been a bit broke. So buying weaponry has been a bit not on the menu. He will sit down on the bed and just pat next to him.
She'll sit. She'll look at you first for a moment and then sit down. And it's all still like very courtly graces. She sits down, puts her hands on crossed on her lap. I could buy you a bow.
You could. Hope it doesn't cost there's a popping noise, arm and a leg. The prosthesis
then I
is
would
in
have
his
to
hand.
take an IOU, as I'm sure I owe a lot of people an arm and a leg.
Have you ever thought about what we're actually doing here? As a brain exercise.
I think I've thought about that every day of my life for the past few years.
It's moments like this that I question, what am I doing here?
I question what you're doing here as well.
Yeah, I could have, well, it's a long story. Actually doing here is getting sent through the future by some spider goddess. I don't know what I'm actually doing here. Maybe just trying to get back to court.
And what's waiting for you there?
My patron, one who saved me from a very short life of kicking over hornets' nests.
You making a deal with some powerful being.
I was very desperate at the time. I was also very bloodied at the time.
I do not shame you for it, nor do I judge you for it.
Please judge me. He has me counting leaves and sorting them by color.
That sounds tedious.
What do you want to do after this? It's not like we can pick up from where we last left off. That was a bit explosive.
Titus, no more jokes. No puns.
It was a serious question. What do you want to do after this?
What I want to do and what I have to do are very different things.
That's always the rub, isn't it?
For people in our position, yes. Well, I guess not you anymore.
It could be. Though I'd have to out myself as being still alive.
It could be, but it's not going to be, is it?
No. I found that in recent years I work best in the shadows. I think Titus Valentine Messier LaRue should remain under.
Her eyes flicker down as she moves to look away from you, and she nods. If that is what you wish.
You still hold a place in my heart. You know that, right? You were my best friend in school. Hell, you were my best friend through a majority of my life. And if the things that I'm about to do are going to put you in any danger, I don't want that.
I live my life in constant danger. That is just the way that life has turned out for me. And I do not need you to protect me every step of the way.
Oh, you've made that abundantly clear. I don't want to add to your plate, is what I'm saying.
You would never be a burden to me, Titus.
He'll reach out, his hand kind of just put it over hers.
As you said, we were once close. I was closer to you than most or any of them. Now we sit here to burned strangers. And you've made your decision, Titus. And no matter the place I hold in your heart, it is the past. You've made your decision and it's not me. And I respect that choice.
Right, and I'm very sorry for that.
I'm sure you are.
If you do need help, though, I'm only sending away.
I wouldn't want to put more on your plate, Titus. She will stand up and squeeze your hand, and she gives you a very soft, gentle peck on the cheek. And she stands back up straight and makes her way to the door. And before she opens it, and before she leaves, she looks back at you and just says, "Rest. You'll need it for tomorrow."
As she turns to leave, I think the camera shot is just the door frame, and Titus is sitting on the bed, hands just clasped together, elbows on knees, leaning forward.
She heads out, and those of you that are downstairs do see her leaving the inn. And Annelisse, you are passed out now on the bar. Probably it's not your first time passed out at a bar. Anthony, you have taken over a table, and Lucy, you're just watching what everyone's doing, or are you doing anything else?
Lucy's sitting there talking to Anthony.
Okay.
She's got one of the gears, and she has it. It's a smaller one. She has it on her nail, and she's just kind of spinning it and watching it spin as it bounces on her nail.
I think a hand kind of creeps over, takes it off your nail.
No, I like that one. No.
Please do not make a mockery of the goddesses, people.
I'm not. Honestly, you could sell things like this. I think a lot of people would pay for them. She spins it again.
You gotta sits up and thinks for a moment.
Your
Maybe.
people are going to need a way to fund themselves, right?
I suppose.
No, think of it. Do you have a where's a bolt, a more worn out one?
He slides one over.
She will take it, put the center through a bolt, and then just hold the head of the bolt and spin it. So you just need something on the other side to cap it. It might be more satisfying too if you made it a little bit thicker. What do you think?
Yeah, I suppose. He takes out a scrap piece of paper and draws something and holds it up like this.
Yes. Oh, but instead of the grooves, could you make it like more like a rounded triangle, like this? And she'll doodle over his drawing until she gets to this shape.
All right.
For those listening at home, I just held up a fidget spinner.
Maybe I can make. Yeah, I can.
Think about it. We could sell them in markets on the way home. Make a little money.
Sure, that would be good.
Are you okay?
He looks down at the mess in front of him. No. But we move forward.
Where does that piece go?
I think it goes in the chassis, but I don't know if I'm really cut out for remaking this.
What do you mean? It was very useful.
Yes, and I let him fall apart.
Well, you've let me fall apart.
Well, yes. But I knew how to help you.
And you don't know how to put this back together?
I do. I see how to put it together.
I don't see the difference.
Julian will be the first of many. And I don't know if I'm able to guide it.
Well, do you want to be around to guide it? Would be my first question. Because you seem to be making every decision possible to take yourself out of the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of disconnect, I suppose.
Do you want to stick around and guide me?
You don't need my guidance.
I do. I don't know which way is west and which way is east.
You have a compass for that.
No, I don't.
We'll get you a compass.
I don't want a compass.
You honestly don't need me, Kyra.
Yes, I do. Who else is going to tell me what to do at the party?
You are quite capable of handling parties.
No, I'm not. Poker parties, yes. Strip poker, definitely.
Right, all right. Which parties are we talking about?
I don't know. What if there's some new weird trend that I don't know and I don't know how to navigate? I might need someone with some court experience.
I'm pretty sure you know how to do all that.
No, I don't.
I've seen you do it.
I don't remember.
Ah,
I do need you around. Not the same way that I need Titus around. He just makes sure that I don't murder people.
well, I'm not going to be very useful for a very, very long time.
I don't need you to be useful. I just need you to be the same person who gave me my first home. And if you can do that, then I will make sure that we get back home to the rest of our family.
Okay. Are we really going to make this our problem?
I think it's our problem whether we want it to be or not. You're talking about the snakes, right?
Yes, I'm talking about the
Yes.
snakes.
Yes. There's now 4, 5, 6, 7 of us, and I think there were 2 or 3 of them left.
All right. So small-scale problems are our problems, but worldly impacting problems are not.
Worldly impacting problems are our problems, but not at the risk of our friends and family.
That's an impossible inquiry, but all right. Our friends and family are already impacted.
That's true. But the more of them we find, the stronger we are together. And I don't think we need some strange deity at our side. Would you rather I go make a deal and then go throw myself at Gregor's door? That's my problem. It's not yours. You saw what he was capable of last time.
Oh, yes, I'm very well aware of what he's capable of. But I can't fight like I used to. I can't cast magic.
I can't
Barely.
either. None of us can.
I can barely make a robot function.
I can't talk to my dog anymore.
Oh, that's sad.
Try explaining that to him. And Lucille just long cat hold up Peanut, who's just floppy and asleep. There's a lot that we can't do anymore, Anthony. But we need to figure it out together without driving each other further away. You taught me that we're stronger as a team. That's why I didn't steal half of the Queen's things and, go throw myself at the family. Also, Jack's cute. That had influence too.
Yes. Well, you said the country doesn't care about me, but that's never bothered me. It's still my home. And I made a very honest oath 20 years ago that I still hold very dear.
And we'll help you keep it. But we'll do it all together, right? I want their head just as much as you. I want Bloomberry back as it was just as much as you. And I want to see Tess yell at you again just as much as you.
We're not trading a problem and getting rid of it. There's an army marching this way.
So we're going to have to go and find our allies and raise an army. It shouldn't be too hard.
Nice will fall.
We'll get it back eventually.
Sure, yes. But the weapons that are heading this way, I know them too well.
You knew them. I think the people here have proven that they are made of tougher stuff than you're giving them credit for. We need to give them people that they can rally behind, and right now that's not us. We go head north and then what? We die there? Our family never knows what happened?
Point valid, but I don't want to head north. It's just... We'll be battling 2 countries, possibly a third.
Why are we battling 2 countries?
Because if Nice falls under the sway of Kalish, we'll have 2 countries.
So then there's 2.
If I was a betting man, I say our odds are pretty good.
I think if we can get to her, they will be. She's the one who allowed them to walk away last time. With her help, they won't walk away this time. Ooh, what if we replace the queen as a double? What if we do that? We should talk. That could be a fun plan. I would look very good in a crown.
I'm taking the crown.
Oh, come on. Just for a little bit.
I'm
You can take my death
it.
later.
No, look, it has to be a native son, or a native daughter, or a native person.
All right.
Usurping the crown and politics of it all.
What if you didn't have to usurp the crown?
What would you do? Just...
Well, obviously kill her first. But,
of course.
I can do what I do. Give it 6 months, make it somewhat believable that she's abdicating after everything she's been through. At the horrible and cruel hands of her lover who betrayed her. I don't know. It works in the books.
Books are far from the reality of it, but I like it.
And then you wanted to put in some council, right?
Put in the 5 major council cities. Abdicate Loomberry, make its own country. So this side of the country, this side of the continent, will have essentially 4 nations.
All right, so kill her, end the war peacefully, well, as peacefully as possible. And then just take it till we make it a better place?
All right. It's a start. It's a good start. He kind of rolls the core over and kind of lifts a piece. He's going to make a crafting roll as he kind of thinks about it a bit more. What about the person wearing my face?
Oh, I'm going to kill them. Don't worry about it. I'll handle that.
Okay.
If anything, that helps us more because it means that you're already in power and that you discovered some secret thing in the middle of the night and you had to run and tell the queen and that's what made her change the evil ways. I don't know. We'll workshop it.
Yeah, He just kind of nods as he pauses, clicking something into place, and a bit of Julian comes back together. I performed a miracle, you know.
You did?
He looks down at Julian. Yeah, and then I let it die.
Oh.
I'm a progenitor.
I don't know what that word
Progenitor.
means.
The creation of the. I'm the creationer. I kind of gestures.
Creationer does not sound like a word. Are you sure that's a word? I don't think. I think you're making things up.
I'm on a path that I'm terrified of, and we're talking about killing my double.
Welcome to what it's been like for me for the last year.
You have a double?
No. But everywhere we've gone, I've been in danger. Seeing Ari was terrifying.
You should have told me.
And what were you going to do? Break my cover further?
Gotten you ice cream?
Mm.
Sat beside you?
Well,
just listen.
How about you work on fixing this now? And I'll take first watch. We'll get the ice cream when this is all over. I'm making sure you pay.
I only have no. I'm the potion maker. I'm not paying for ice cream. As he stands up collecting these things, I'm keeping you alive. And it just gathers Julian to him. No, you're paying for ice cream. I don't care. Looks to Annelisse. Annelisse is paying for ice cream.
Okay. Annelisse can pay for ice cream. Sit down and work on your thing. Sit.
Titus, after speaking and after this conversation passed, has walked down the stairs, pipe in mouth, sits down, kicks his feet up, and is just quiet for a moment, pensively thinking. I think I just broke up with my wife.
You divorced your wife?
Did you tell her where you were the other night?
It was a heartfelt conversation, and I think we see that things are not going to work out between the two of us, so there we have it. Hilariously enough, she does get to keep the house, the dog, and all the money.
You had a dog?
Yeah.
Here, you can have this one. And she will plop a peanut into your lap.
My boy, my son, my rotten soldier. My good time cheese.
Rolled a 14 and a 23 as he kind of finishes putting Julian together and kind of holds him up.
So as you're doing that, you get the sense of pride and you watch Titus set up with his pipe and Annelisse sleeping on the bar, snoring slightly. And as you hold out Julian with pride, you feel this familiar warmth again. And you hear in your head, how sweet. They still believe in the good in you. And that's where we end off.
Icky. No. Yuck, yuck, bad time.
All right, everyone. That's going to be it for us this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us for this game. If you'd like to check out more of this game or others like it on the channel, we do have a fully edited podcast of this game as well as our D&D 5e campaign that go up every week after we play. We will have one more game of Nexus Adventures prior to going on break for Christmas and New Year's Eve, which both happen to fall on a Sunday this year. How dare they get in the way of my playing these games with wonderful friends. Thanks for joining us for today's adventure. If you have a spare moment, please consider taking a minute to leave the cast a comment or review on your platform of choice. We know a lot of folks can't listen to the show live, and we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to support Nexus Adventures and other shows like it, consider joining us at patreon.com/thehypegoblin for our Patreon-only podcast, access to our Discord community, and more. Thanks to all of our Twitch subscribers and Patreon members. Your support makes shows like this one possible. Annelisse was played by Robyn. Anthony was played by Jen. Titus was played by RJ. Lucy was played by Sarah Roberts. Your GM for this show was Alyssa Vamp. Check the show description for links to cast social media accounts, affiliate links, and more. Nexus Adventures records live Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. EST. Check hypegoblin.com/events for the show's full live event schedule.